Yeah, I guess my screen is getting shared. Welcome to lecture one on programming in C. Uh, so myself, Dr. Ninad Mende. I'm a postdoctorate from KIT Germany. Before that, I did my PhD from IIT Bombay, and I was an alumnus of KJ Somaya College of Engineering from Electronics and Telecommunication branch in 2007. I did my MTech in embedded systems. My PhD is on biomedical engineering, and my postdoc is in machine learning. So let's start with the course of C programming. Uh, some of you might have heard this language maybe in their school days or 11, 12 vocational. Let's consider nobody knows anything about C and start fresh so that for you some of things might get repeated, but for those newcomers who don't have any idea about this language, will learn from the scratch. You might revise your basics also. So there are two words which are very popular, at least till 1999, C and C++. And whenever we say programming, these are the two common words we used to see. So C programming is the language that gives a computer specific commands. So you generally give commands to the computer through keyboard or mouse. C program can do it for you in a standard manner. It was invented in 1972. So you can imagine it's one of the oldest and still used today. So you can imagine a language which is being used for 50 years almost. And let's see why. So most widely used programming language in the world, and that's why it is made compulsory to all engineers to learn C program. It has influenced many popular languages, especially it's a base for, yeah, am I not audible to you? Okay. So especially it's influencing the languages such as C++, and you might have heard of C sharp also nowadays. But why we are still learning such a old programming language? That could be the question in your mind. So let's try and answer that. So why not something easier for say Python, which is more industry related nowadays? So why not start with that? So we will start the reasons. First is features of C. The C programming is a structure based language. That is, we can divide a big problem into multiple parts and make it easy to write and understand this kind of statements in C. Uh, so if you see this picture, the first fellow is saying, I'm a program written in C. So obviously we are trying to indicate that this programming language is fast, also efficient. Now, programs written in C are efficient and fast. That is the first thing which I told you. The most critical factor using C over other language is the speed. So C can be considered as close to the computer, meaning we can write a program which can do precisely what we want them to do. So to understand this in a better way, let me give you an analogy. So let's say you ask your brother to go and bring a cake from the store. Now in Python, you would just say one line, buy me a cake from the store. And then your brother might go and come back after 5 hours. He went to a store very, very far and brought the best cake available to you. Okay. So this is what Python did. Now in C program, you can exactly tell your brother, get into the car, drive to the store next around you, maybe next lane, buy the first cake that you see and drive back immediately, which will happen in 20 odd minutes. So now you can imagine that though the Python code was easy or a single statement, but you don't have full control over it. That's why the execution time was long. And maybe in C programming, you get the same thing done in 20 minutes. So that's why it's called efficient language. Of course, it won't be the best cake available because might be the best seller is far away or best cake is not made. So that's why, but it will be much, much faster. And that is the exact cake that you ordered. So next thing we are going to see. is how precisely we can fit the code using a C program. So C program, we call it a portable because programs written in C language can run on different machines with little or no modifications. So typically, if you heard of Python, that will run on a boards like Raspberry Pi or Linux. Even Java runs with your mobile phones, Android systems, etc. C program can run anywhere. It can run in your washing machines. It can run onto your regular phones. It can run to your PC. So C program is much more portable than any other programming language. In fact, most of the programming languages are written using the C libraries. So the question here is, C is a structure based language, and then you get two options, true and false. So the correct answer to this is true. So C is a structured based language. So you have to have particular structure to write a program in C. We will learn what is that structure soon in the lecture. Next is, programs written in C are not portable. Just now I have answered this question. So the correct answer to this question is, it's false, because programs written in C are portable. So now let's see what are the applications of the C programming that we have. So C is widely used for creating a desktop application. So that is the main and foremost application. You get a exe file when you write a C program. Second is, C is also used for developing games. If you remember the earlier games like Mario or Aladdin, those were developed in C programming language. Then designing the operating systems themselves. So you can imagine entire operating systems like DOS-based Windows and so on were initially written in C program. It is used for even designing a compiler. So many industry-based languages like Xilinx, VHDL, etc., their compilers are still written in C. So let's see what are the step-by-step working procedures for a C programming language. Here, first you have to write a source code. So first thing is to write a source code to a desired project. This code is written using any text editing tool, but just while saving, you have to save the file as .c instead of .txt. Next thing is compiler to source code. So it will take that source code .c file and it will compile to a source code. So source code is basically converted into a equivalent machine instruction so that computer can understand it. Third thing is check for errors. So since it is compiling beforehand and not running the code directly, we can check for the errors, which is not the case with the Python, because Python just reads one line and executes it and then it goes to the next. Whereas in C programming, it first compiles the entire program. So if you have errors anywhere in the program, before running the program, you know it. So it won't allow you to run the program until and unless you remove all the errors from the C program. So code is checked for all possible errors. Then actual linking happens. So code is linked with other files. So there could be 2, 3 C files linked together and called from one another. So the linking should happen between the files. Sometimes it is difficult to put all codes in a single file. So computer needs to link multiple codes together. And if the user has decided to write them separately. Again, it will check for the linking errors. If there are any linkage error that you called some file and not found, then it will check that. And the code is checked for all possible errors one again. And finally, your computer is ready to serve what you ask. So this is called execution. So code is finally executed and you should get your desired output. So next question we have here is, the programs written in C language are efficient and fast. And the correct answer for this is true. Next question is, C program or platform. C is a platform independent language. So the correct answer to this is false, because C is platform dependent language. The C program that you use for your microcontroller will be slightly different than C program that you run on your x86 machines, will be slightly different from the C program that you run onto your ARM controllers. So it is a platform dependent language. Now, C is used to write the embedded softwares, and the correct answer is yes. So, wherever you see your washing machines or any gadget that is running automatically, it is quite likely that the programming done onto that machine is in C programming. C is still the bestly used embedded software. So, if you ever wish to go to the embedded systems as your master's degree, you should always learn C by very deep level, and it is the still used in industry language. Even VLSI and every IC industry uses the C programming language. Now here is a short video. I guess I have to share my audio with you for this particular video. I will stop sharing the screen and reshare with you with the audio. During this break, you can ask any questions if you have.